There's a lot of moving pieces tonight. I'm doing a few things for the first time, so I'm gonna present this talk for the first time, and I'm gonna do a live demo on stage for the first time. So bear with me. My name is Boris Jitsukata. That's a Japanese last name. I recently got married, and I took the name of my Japanese wife. I'm not half, not full. But it's really exciting to have a new name. I recommend. My topic tonight is next generation prototyping, and prototyping is so important for our work as designers. And I believe many of you are designers, are working on products, and as cheesy as it sounds, we are creating the future, and we have to ask ourselves, what kind of future do we want to create? And there's many possible futures with an S, because there is certain possible futures, plausible futures, different kind of scenarios, and probable futures. But I think we should all look for the desirable futures, futures that we want to see happening. And the further you go on this future-like cone, the more ambiguous it gets. And then one big question that we realize is haunting a full industry is like, what will the future car look like, right? And then there's people in the industry like Zetsche who says, hey, it's connected, autonomous, shared, and electric. And this seems something that we can all agree on, but also it's rather generic and really broad. The beautiful thing is, everything still needs to be designed. And it's our job as designers to think about the details now. And car designers, and when I recently told somebody, do you know how they design cars with clay? He was like, wow, that's awesome. I didn't believe that grown-up men are claying car models. But it's really still important to see a physical model in front of you. And what I'm seeing is it's very man-dominated. It's a very aesthetic-driven industry, and often aesthetics over usability. And if you think about it, cars are not at all designed human-centered. You could actually say it's anti-human. They create pollution, and people get killed in traffic. And when I was talking to my wife, she was saying, like, believe me, if women would have designed cars, they would look very differently. They would be fluffy. Yeah. They would be soft. There would be no accidents. You would sit in the middle, and behind you would sit a few people, because then you can see more, if I'm in the middle, how much space I have on both sides. And I was really amazed. When a car designer designs a car, it looks amazing, and it's engineered into the last detail, even how the door closes and all these kind of things. Now, I see a lot of uninspired interfaces inside the car, which is kind of funny. It doesn't match up to that premium quality that we are used to from brands like Porsche and the others. I see a digital gap. And progression curves are one of our favorite tools, Sam. I know you love those as much as you love the cone, but progression curves are a way to predict the future by looking into the past. So let's look at smartphones and how they developed to the iPhone, and now kind of easing out a bit. Who knows what the next curve gonna be? And then I'm drawing parallels to the connected cars, where electric vehicles came up. Players like Tesla and Uber showed the industry how it works, and showed a little bit of a glimpse of the future, and then autonomous vehicles. And there's certainly things coming that we cannot imagine at the moment. And I see that cars are becoming platforms and becoming great gadgets. They become digital product, and the car makers, they are becoming tech companies themselves. Digital product is not just the new technologies like AR, VR, blockchain, gestures, voice, and so on, but it's also new digital business models. And the old business model of designing cars and selling cars is changing towards designing mobility experiences and selling time, convenience, and kilometers. It's a bit more ambiguous again. When we are designing, and we design digital products every day, we prototype a lot. Oh, so many people over here. I changed position. I like the new setup. And we prototype, and prototypes make people believe. Vision concepts, videos, mock-ups, and physical prototypes. And people really believe that kind of Minority Report kind of shit. People up in the air with their hands and moving data sets around. And it's important that you as a designer are using it for the right purpose. So of course we can convince people, but we should maybe think, if we evaluate it enough, if that is the future we want to build. And so please use prototyping with caution, because it's powerful. And then the question is a bit like, we have so many sophisticated mobile prototyping tools, and the question is, how many do we need? Goodpatch has a history of also building a mobile prototyping tool, and that is Prot, the yellow one, prominently for the Japanese market. But man, it's such a Red Sea. It's like thousands of mobile prototyping tools out there. But I'm really missing still that tool for bigger experiences beyond the screen. Because if you're designing stuff around the car, the mobile screen is just one little piece of the puzzle. And another parallel that I see to what's going on in this automotive industry is, so great software is, and maybe you can agree with me on some of these points, designed around human needs. It's built fast, doesn't need to necessarily break, but it's built in a sprint kind of way, and it's never done completely. And cars are software now, and therefore we should also adopt the style of how we build cars. With Athena, we built prototyping tool in VR, and it's combining the power of prototyping with the immersion of virtual reality. And I invite you to join the ride. Siri, can you? Okay. Mixed reality setup. And recently they actually released this adapter for wireless. So it's really big improvement, I think. You're not afraid of falling over your cable anymore. It's gonna be funny now. So you can see what I can see, right? So we created a rather low poly landscape because we want to really just give you enough of a feeling that you feel immersed, but we don't want to distract you too much. I'm getting in now. Okay. And I can start my ride. I have this beautiful controller here and press start.
Hallo, wohin soll es gehen?
Sam. So we can already see we're not just interested in this screen, but we are also interested in like interactions like voice, gestures, and we're interested in prototyping scenarios around us, exterior, interior questions. And as designers, we also built a sketching tool in there, which I can demonstrate. So you can actually draw in 3D, and that's really funny. Like, it's just more powerful than on sketch and paper. I know maybe this is a little table, and I'm missing the steering wheel here. Don't know how a futuristic steering wheel will look like. And then we can do things. So 3D sketching is one thing, but then we can also import 3D assets. And maybe Siri, can you give me a steering wheel? Thank you. And I can grab that. And then can kind of replace my sketch with this, yeah. And then, yeah, I invite you all to try it out later. Give it a try in the break or after this event. We're still learning a lot on this, and what my team and I are looking for is strategic partners who kind of help us make this the new standard in an industry. And yeah, maybe you know somebody or want to get involved, so invite you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Boris. I was surprised that my voice is still in there. I thought I've been replaced, automated, but still I got a job. Are there questions from the audience?
I saw the lightning talk goes without questions, but nice.
No, you get. I did a really quick intro, so we have some.
Hi, that was a really cool demo. My question is more on when would you realistically see this becoming, because you hope this can become a standard. Realistically, what kind of a time frame are you having in mind where this can become the go-to standard for designing?
So what I'm seeing right now is everybody builds their own VR labs.
Mm-hmm.
Every OEM does that, but it's costs a lot if everybody builds their own. So VR prototyping is also not something new in that industry, but that interactive kind of prototyping and a software that can be used by many companies, also by smaller supplier companies and non-automotive companies, that I see kind of right now the right timing. And just with the recent HTC Vive Pro update, you can actually look at the screen and really see interface. So like now we can look closer and it's actually crisp. Before it was not. Just with the last release that changed, and things like the wireless. So I envision everybody gonna have their own VR labs at some point. And kind of we want to build a software that runs on that. And I do see that already happening now, but everybody builds their own. Yeah.
Yes, great demo, thanks. Question, how long does it take to implement such a prototyping tool? Because prototyping is used to like advance rapidly, right? Before it goes into implementation. But how long would it take to, I don't know, adjust this demonstration?
So we built this since January, and we made so much progress in short time. What we are building now is something, so we're building it in Unity, and then now we're building an easy-to-use wrapper around it, our software. So we want to make it so simple that within just one day you can create new scenarios. And I think a bit like, you know, Tony Hawk's skate park creator, that kind of easiness. But it's going to be node-based, so that you are linking different events together. And right now, the software still relies a lot on our services. But in the future, we want the clients to be able to build their own scenarios without the help of a Unity developer. Right now, it would be so that we would do a 2-week sprint and implement your concept.
Okay, one last question maybe?
Hello.
Hi.
I try to understand in the proper way what the program is, and I'm trying to understand if is it possible to measure the human experience and how intuitive could be this system, the dashboard, everything, whether inside or outside the car design. Is it possible to measure different factors with this program?
So what we're doing is user research, right? So we're talking maybe to 10 people instead of 100 and generate 100 insights from just talking to 10 people. So qualitative user research. We have interviews, we have deep conversations with them. How do you feel? What didn't feel right? Things like this. And then what I feel is it's already a big step of having it not tested at all, how it will look like with self-driving cars, then testing it in here. And there we are experimenting right now, how reality close does it need to be kind of giving you real validation. but I feel it's already a big improvement to not testing it at all. I think even when you talk to people at, I know, BMW and ask who were sitting already in a self-driving car, like very few people actually tried it out. So that is kind of funny, and everybody walks towards this direction now, but needs to be validated. And I think we're getting closer and closer. And one day it will all merge and will be anyways like one kind of mixed reality world. When this thing is also being translated in AR, and then I feel we can really test it also on the real street. Yeah.
Is it possible for people who test the product to make some improvements or to, I don't know.
Yeah,
to,
sure.
Yes,
I
it's
invite
possible.
you. Like it's so early phase, and I believe in prototyping our product as well, you know. And that's why I'm presenting in such an early phase. I want to get the feedback, and you're invited to talk to us.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much.
Okay.